Welcome to Peace Over Drama, the podcast where real life meets real growth. I am Latrice, also known as One Unique Writer. Each week, we talk about protecting your peace and guarding your growth through self-love, synchronicities, and the lessons that help us rise above the drama. So, let's get started. Hey family, come on in. Welcome to episode 40 of Peace Over Drama. I am Latrice, also known as author, One Unique Writer. For today's story, so I'm going to take another page out of my book, 70 Ways to Hear God. This episode today is one that is definitely a message of encouragement. And for those of you who might have gotten into a down season or a funk or something like that, and you thought that God went on pause or went on break, or he hit the mute button because you couldn't hear him speak or say anything, but sometimes God sends that reinforcement in, and he sends it in very unexpectedly, because sometimes we might be going through it so much at first, and it might feel like we just keep going down further and further and further, but then he sends in that reinforcement or the answer or the encouragement or whatever it is that you need. And so a side note is I used to battle with bipolar depression a lot. And I think with that, like they say, oh, there's no cure and you can't get better and da-da-da-da-da. But, it's something where you definitely don't have to be on medicine for, hold on, let me, because I can't tell you, I'm not trying to say, stop taking your medicine and this, that, and the third, if you are on it, if that's what the doctor has said. But I will speak for myself. I am not on any medication, and I never actually was. And so that makes the struggle a whole lot harder when you are trying to get through it and you don't take any medication. But I struggled with those very extreme mood swings a whole lot. And, they'll say, oh, well, we don't know what caused it or what it came from, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. But I feel like it is unresolved trauma that has been repressed, and we push it down because, who in the world gets depressed for no reason at all? Everything is just going well. At least this is how it would be for me. Things could be going well, and then out of the blue, like I could have absolutely no problems, and then out of the blue, there would be just a strong mood swing where I'm all of a sudden just sad and not feeling so good. And I remember my cousin some years ago, it was a group of us just all laughing and chilling and blah, 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 having a good time. And just to fast forward, I went back into my bedroom and she came in and she said, "Cuz, you good? You straight?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she said, no, you're not. What's wrong with you? Like, we were all just in the front having a good time, laughing and joking. And now all of a sudden, it's like you're not all right. But I told her, I'm good, blah, blah, blah. But even she noticed that, cuz you need to get that checked out, because you're not okay. You can't, ain't nothing going on. There's no problems. And you just all of a sudden sad. And it's not even so much that you sad and having that extreme mood swing going into a depression for nothing. Like I said, a lot of times I feel like it is repressed trauma that we never resolved. We didn't actually deal with those emotions. All we did was push them up on the rug or put them in a closet and lock them up somewhere, and we never actually healed from some things. So that's my account of it. That's what I feel like my journey was. And so, like I said, I am completely fine now. But also at the same time, with me being fine, it is because I went back and dug up stuff that I buried, and I actually dealt with those things, like running away from the emotions and the memories and all of that type of stuff. You lock that stuff inside of your body and it will manifest in sickness. But anyway, let me go ahead and get into today's episode. And like I said, I'm just going to read it from my book because I feel like it is detailed enough versus me trying to go back and remember all of these details and this, that, and the third. So here's what it says. This particular moment, I was having a moment and was thinking, I'm so screwed up, so who in the world can I help? I need to give up on trying to help others altogether, or at least until I am completely together. Then I started thinking, what good am I? I've made too many mistakes and I keep making wrong turns. I need to just give up all hope and don't try to help anyone else because I'll probably just mess them up. Unexpectedly, I received a text message that simply said, peace from broken pieces is an excellent audible. Then the conversation took off from there. I expressed my thanks and admitted that I needed something and I was having a moment. Without me explaining the detailed thoughts that were going through my head, my aunt suggested that I help with a talk show. Then she started feeding me with words of encouragement. With tears skating down my face, all I could do was shake my head, look up, and say, thank you, Lord. I cannot explain my emotions during that moment. It cannot be put into words. I could only think about how God knows that I will not place my burdens on others. And although I needed someone to talk to, I refused to reach out to anyone. So he sent someone to me. When you feel alone, invisible, and like no one cares, it is tremendously amazing to hear someone say, I am here for you and I love you. My aunt let me know she was there. God also let me know that he was there. He was listening and wanted me to know that he loves me. Earlier in the morning, I was watching a sermon and was barely listening because I was wrestling with tears and emotions. Yet I somehow replayed words from the sermon in my head. Glean behind the reapers. As I listened earlier, I was thinking, yeah, right. Who am I going to glean behind? I have no one to follow. And then the aha moment occurred. My aunt is very knowledgeable, skillful, and sharp. She is a reaper. Need I say more? God was speaking to me even as I was wrestling in pain earlier in the day. He was working on things throughout that entire moment. So, like I said, I'm going through it earlier in my head, having one of these extreme mood swings, feeling worthless and low self-esteem. Oh, who can I help? And I can't do anything for anybody. I can't help anybody. The sermon was giving me everything that I needed, but I was so into that strong mood with the strong emotions that try to, and of course the voices that try to convince you, you are nothing. You already jacked up too much. I don't know who you trying to help. You can't help anybody. Look at you. You jacked up. You always doing something you got no business doing. You always doing something wrong and nobody cares about you anyway. So who in the world want to listen to what you got to say? God was already working on that stuff earlier. And it's crazy how earlier in that day, even though I was so emotional and barely listening to the sermon, is it not amazing that the words of the sermon still came up later when I got into a better mood? Like, how crazy is that? Something in me must have really, really, really wanted answers, because how is it that I was barely listening to the sermon, but yet the words of the sermon rose up later on? Just think about that. That's crazy, but amazing, really. So, like I said, like it says here, he was working on things throughout that entire moment, even in that morning, which reminds me of another sermon that I listened to that morning. I remember hearing that even when it seems like God isn't listening or doing anything, he is. So all within a couple of hours, I went from sulking in despair and depression to a great moment of awe. It was possible only because I know how God speaks. So even if I had some resistance earlier in the day, at some point, he was able to get through and get into me. So I know we go through these things and we feel like God isn't listening and nobody cares and da-da-da-da-da. But if you have even just a little something in there where you really and truly do want to help, because, you know, some people like feeling that way. Like, one of the reasons I love being happy or having joy and being in peace is because it feels good to feel good. I tell people at the drop of a dime, I'm never going back to those days of depression ever. Even when people have tried to beat me down and wanted me to feel bad about myself, it didn't work and it never will. There's nothing anybody can ever do to push me back to those days. Plus, I got a whole nother level of strength. You know, so yeah, like I said, some people, they, you know, it feels good to feel bad or something. I don't know. But being over on this side where it feels totally awesome, and I'm not saying that my life is perfect and that things never bother me and I'm a robot and I have no emotions and I can't feel anything. I'm totally not saying any of that. But I strive to feel good. Yeah, this is work, and it's work for everybody. Nobody is special. Nobody gets to navigate the earth and not have any problems and have a perfect life, which is why, you know, like, people used to say retarded stuff to me, like, you act like you don't have any problems. You act like your life is perfect. We don't ever see what things bother you and this, that, and the third. Am I supposed to walk around with my problems on my forehead? That's just weak. And okay, well, for me, because that's fine if other people do it. Maybe that's just how, you know, you or somebody else flows. But for me, for the way that I judge myself, especially now today, with me coming through and overcoming so many things, that would be so weak of me, myself, judging myself today, to walk around with my feelings all on my shoulders, my problems on my forehead. No, I have problems because this is life. It's going to be that way. You, as human beings, when you leave one problem, you are on the way to another one. Not to be pessimistic, so that's not anything you want to be talking and telling yourself every day. It's just a fact of life. When there's a problem behind you, there is one up ahead of you. It is a fact of life, but we're not sitting around thinking about that. But also, too, that's why when you do come out of something, you do come out of a bad season, you gotta get the good while you can. You know, while you can feel good and be happy, you need to be enjoying that moment completely, because I guarantee something is going to happen to test you to where it's not so easy to feel good and be happy. So when you have no problems, don't call them in. Don't do that retard stuff. Oh man, everything just going so good. This too good to be true. Oh man, I just know something gonna go wrong. Oh, okay. Well, if that's how you like to flow, I don't know what to tell you, but I don't call that mess in and over myself, because the tongue has power. Okay, we can call in the good, we can call in the bad, we can fight off the bad, we can fight off the good with the stuff that we are saying, being so darn negative and pessimistic, you know? And I just ain't trying to be with it. I'm not. It takes work to have peace and to choose peace over drama and, you know, stuff like that. But it is all a choice in how we choose to handle things. And everybody got battle wounds. Like I said before, nobody gets to be special. You don't get to be the only one where something bad happened to you when you was a child. Your parents mistreated you. Somebody did something they shouldn't have been doing. Somebody mistreated you. This is the world that we live in. Unfortunately, it has happened to all of us, and it's going to continue to happen to some other people. We are not the first. We won't be the last. That's another fact of life. So, you know, the lesson here, just reeling it all back in. The lesson here is that sometimes the encouragement you need it won't come directly in a prayer. Like, you know how sometimes we pray or we fast and then we just sit there and we just trying to wait and listen for the voice of God or for the Spirit. And sometimes we do get the answer that way. Sometimes we do not. And again, sometimes the encouragement does not come that way. Many times the answers to our prayers and encouragement comes in unexpected ways. A lot of times anyway, so the encouragement may not come directly in a prayer, but through a person who shows up at the exact right moment. Or it might be the way a situation pans out. It just may happen and things may shift and turn a certain way at that exact right moment. So do not dismiss those divine appointments. And so this week, I want you to notice who God might be using to encourage you. Well, it could be a thing. It could be a message. It could be a random person. It could be on the radio, on the TV, on the internet. There's so much information and content and videos and everything everywhere. But, just be open to it. Like if I would have chosen to ignore that text message, I would not have received that encouragement. Or I could have looked at it and then just turned the other way. I could have chosen not to respond, and my spirit would not have gotten fed the way that it did in this particular incident. Now, a side note is I have had episodes where no, I would not answer the phone. I would not respond to messages. So I'm pretty sure I have missed out on some possible encouraging moments by not responding and by ignoring people and turning off my phone or blocking people out, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But we are just talking about this particular incident where I was actually open, so just be willing to be open so that you can receive the nourishment that you actually need for your soul and your spirit. And on the other side of that, you might actually be the person who does the encouraging to somebody else, You never know. So overall, listen, choosing peace, it does not mean that we will never feel pain, because again, peace, having joy, all of this stuff takes work. It sounds cute. Oh yeah, I got peace. I just want a peace of mind. I just said no. I just closed the door and in a perfect world, it would be cute if having peace was just so simple. Sometimes it is. Sometimes choosing peace, having peace is simple. Sometimes it's complicated and you really, really, really got to put in the work. Sometimes it's simple and it's just a simple choice, a simple action that needs to be executed, But again, even then, choosing peace, it doesn't mean that we're going to have a perfect life. It doesn't mean that we will never feel pain, but it means that trusting that even in pain, peace will come. Peace is still possible, even throughout anything that you may be going through. And God will send reminders that you are not forgotten. God will send reminders because you are not, just like, again, in this episode where I basically felt invisible and like unworthy, pretty much, if I had to sum it up. So if you've been feeling invisible, let this be your sign. You are seen, you are loved, and peace is still possible. Okay? So I pray that this has really helped and blessed and encouraged somebody, because look, you do have value. You are here for you wouldn't be here if the story was over. If it was over for you, you wouldn't be here. So evidently the pen is still writing, But that's it for today's episode of Peace Over Drama. And I really appreciate you being here. If this resonated, share it with someone who needs a reminder that even small faith makes a big impact. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and grab a copy of my book, 70 Ways to Hear God. The link is in the show notes. Until next time, protect your peace, guard your growth, and keep choosing peace. Thanks for tuning in to Peace Over Drama. I am Latrice, also known as One Unique Writer. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend, subscribe, and connect with me at One Unique Writer on all platforms. Remember, peace first, drama never, growth always. Until next time, keep choosing peace.